Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
I had to get up and dance on that one today. Wasn't no sitting down. Wasn't no sitting down. It is a wonderful day. It's a great day to be alive. It is a great day to come together. And I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. And I'm on those steroids, y'all. I got one more day of them. Two. They give them, the ones they gave me are for voice professionals. And it's kind of coming back. This long COVID ain't no joke. Take care of yourselves, y'all. I avoided it for 2 years plus some, but you know, hey, I'm just roll with it. You see what I'm saying? We got to trust. I was thinking about that this morning. Because there was something milling around in my mind, just kept flying through there about faith. And then I heard God say, well, why do you keep struggling with faith, Lord? This actually happened this morning. He said, why do you keep struggling with faith? Faith, don't you trust me? And when I heard that, I was like, well, of course I trust you. And he said, well, there it is. Done. I'm going to let that sit out there. Think about it. Welcome to the show. That's the Bell of Purpose for those of you who have not been here before. And where have you been? If you haven't been here, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Central, we're here every day, 50 weeks a year. And that bell, I ring it on purpose. It's actually, I mean, for those of you who have never seen it, it's a big one. Yes. It is the Bell of Purpose because I ring it on purpose. I don't slip and fall on it. I ring it on purpose. Why? It's not just a show prop or a clever gimmick. It is an opportunity. It's actually a reminder because we get so busy nowadays, multitasking, doing all kinds of things all at the same time. You know how it is. And I just don't want us to miss some of these great nuggets that come through here from you all out there in the comment section. Our guests, of course, and every once in a blue moon, Even I throw one out there. So the bell is to remind you when you hear it. Oh, yeah, I might want to write that down, or I might want to commit that to memory, whatever. Just don't leave it in the middle of the road. It is not, the truth is never roadkill. It is intended to be soul fill. Take it and fill your soul and your spirit. Can I get an amen? Right? Can I get an amen? Listen, our theme here is show me your soul. That just means, hey, it's a safe space. Don't be embarrassed. Don't hold back. If you have a question, be respectful. Ask it. If you have an answer, be respectful. Answer. And let's just chat. Let's have an illuminated conversation. And today is no exception. So I promise you, when you show me your soul, I am going to show you mine. That's right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So what does this mean for us? What does it mean? It means that we, you, me, all of us, right? If you share it out right now, that'll include even more people. Be of service. Get your blessings. You're going to get them in the way that you bless other people. That's just how it is. It's a boomerang effect. So what it means for us is we have this opportunity right now to fulfill one of the greatest promises God has ever offered us. And he's offered a whole humdinger of them. There's a bunch of them out there. But the first one today is that we are here together, fulfilling that promise, which guarantees us that where two or more of us comes together with a like-minded heart, mind, spirit, soul, wonderful things are going to happen. Do you believe it? Do you receive it? I do. I say it is done. It is done. So, weekend, what'd you do? Put in the comment. What is your greatest joy? What's your greatest joy that you brought into this week from this weekend? Did you spend time with family? Did you get that long nap? Did you work in the garden? Did you cook a special meal? Maybe you went to fellowship at your favorite house of worship, or whatever. What brought you joy? What's your greatest joy? I want to know. Put it in the comments, won't you please? For me, something I'd never done before. Next weekend, I will be traveling Friday through Sunday. I'll be in Cincinnati, Ohio, filming my first television pilot, Heathen, with a bunch of wonderful actors there. I don't know, but I don't know. There's probably some people that have never done it before, but I haven't. So I went and worked with a line coach Saturday to run some lines it was really interesting, the process. So pray for me, send me light, love, and encouragement as and traveling mercies, of course, as I head out Friday, God willing, to Cincinnati. And then in August, I'll be heading to New York. That first movie, Lord have mercy. Right? Who knew? See, that's the thing about God. As soon as you think you've seen it all, he's going to say, here comes some more blessing. Here comes some more blessing. Here comes some more blessing. Receive yours today, won't you please? Help me. Welcome to the show, my sidekick. This is her new cup. She's been with me all 6.5 years that we've been here on the show. This is my sidekick, my version of Ed McMahon, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. And yes, indeed, said the needy. I love me some Lucy. I do. I ain't ashamed. Still haven't gotten around to using this, my smudging thing. I need, smells good. I'm scared to light it because I think people will think I'm smoking weed. Anyway, what else? Went to a birthday party yesterday for our good friend Margaret. Just about 5 of us and just had a great time. Just fellowshipping. I have a word that I want to throw out there today, and I want it to be the word of the day. Okay. I heard it this weekend, and I think on a podcast I was listening to as I was putzing around in the yard, had my headphones on, and resilient. I can't say it. Resilient. And I thought, wow, am I resilient? And if I am I practicing resilience, or they're just slipping and get in where it fits in? So I want you to tell me what you think that means. Resilient. We're going to talk to our guest today about that and a whole bunch more. I was going to read her bio, but we're gonna do something a little different this morning. Dr. Stephanie Wall is here today, and wow, prepare yourselves. What a great way to jumpstart this week. I'm so excited. We're so blessed to have her with us today. And so I thought I found a little, you know me, I get all up in the cookies. I'm all up to digging in their social media, looking for some dirt. I mean, not dirt, some worth. That's what it is. I ain't looking for dirt. That was the old version of me. I'm looking for just wonderful nuggets of content, and she did not disappoint. Here's a little snippet of what you can expect in this hour from our good friend, Dr. Stephanie Wall. I'm just trying to get it pulled up. Y'all know I am not techie, right? Uh-huh. And I blow it up. Take a look at this.
So, I like to call it own your story.
Own it.
Own your story, because I think the most defeating and the most dangerous thing that happens to many of us is that we have this story. So we can do one or two things with our story. It's
what?
Our story. It's our truth. When you get on the other side of it, if you do, because some people can get on the other side of it, or they think they're on the other side of it by obtaining things, positions, power,
preach,
money.
Yeah.
But if you don't own that story and whatever effects it had on you, you don't speak it out loud, release it, because some people need to release the story, because your story does not define you. Your story you are who you are based on those experiences, but it doesn't define who you are in that moment. And even today, who I am today will not be who I am tomorrow or next week or next year. But until I own my story,
own it.
Stephanie, this happened, as Tony Robbins says, this happened, look, not to you, but for you. And it sounds so cliche. I hate to say it, but I love it. There's no losses. There's just lessons.
Yes.
And if you learn the lessons, then right, I want to learn the lesson. There's a lesson in it.
Yes, there is. You all, we're going to get into that today. We're going to get all up in there again, because I feel that somebody here has an opportunity to bless someone. Who came to mind when you were hearing Dr. Stephanie? Who's coming to mind right now that needs a word? All you got to do is invite them right now. Just share this out and get them here, because guess what? First timer Dr. Stephanie Wall is coming up the runway right now, ripping it up. Here she comes. Put some hearts on the screen, won't you please? But more importantly, I want you to put your heart into this illuminated conversation as we welcome Dr. Stephanie Wall. Hey, girl.
Let me say, look, I was like, that music had me, I was over here popping and locking and popping.
That's my jam.
Come on, Dr. Lauren. Come on. Thank you for that amazing.
Thank you. How are you?
I am well. I am well. I got no complaints today.
See, not gonna do any good anyway. I just want to say,
where's my bell? I need a bell. Ding.
I know people love the bell. I do too. There it is. I'll ring it for you. I got a little Anita Ward in me. Ring. There it is. That's right. Listen, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, and you're making it even more wonderful. Why don't you, instead of me reading your bio, why don't I dip out for a second, give you the floor, and just get to know people. Tell them who you are. Tell them where you are in the world, and then I'll come back in, and we'll get started. I want to go first to the land of yesterday and find out all about little Stephanie before she became Dr. Stephanie, and we'll take it from there. How's that sound?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So they call me Dr. Stephanie Warren. Actually, they call me the Tower of Power. And you know what? I know you said, what the Tower of Power? What's that all about? The Tower of Power, the truth of the matter is, and Dr. Lauren can tell you, I stand about 5'10" with my shoes off, with my heels on, which I like to wear every bit of 6'2", probably thereabouts. But the Tower of Power, I believe, besides my stature, has everything to do with my energy when I arrive in the room. And that's how I serve the world. No matter where I'm serving, whether it's in my professional or in my personal life, my goal in life is to help anybody to see their truth, speak their truth, and transform their world. Because when you transform your life, you transform the lives of everyone around you. And particularly, I serve women. I can serve anyone, but particularly, we all know, in case you didn't know, most people, whatever their passion lies, it has everything to do with who they are and their experiences. They're fixing, or they're trying to empower their former selves. So I am going to, and I am transforming 1 million lives, one person at a time. And I say 1 million, I believe that every time I open my mouth, every day, every moment, 1 million lives have been affected. That's that.
I agree. Okay, Dr. Stephanie, Tower Power. Yeah. Listen,
Thank you, Robert Booker.
Oh, that's my top fan right there. Robert in Canada, good morning to you. And good morning to all you other influencers, impactors, healers, teachers, lovers of truth, all of that. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for pouring into us, just like we hope to pour into you. So I want to get started. And I wanted to say this. When I met you in Atlanta, when I was down there with so many wonderful people receiving these honorary doctorate degrees, I was so impressed with your exactly what you just described, that command presence that you had. And what I found so interesting about you was that it wasn't an intimidating kind of command presence. You knew how to joke it up. You knew how to get our attention when people were like talking and doing all the others, because you were the one that kept everybody. Now listen up, because there was a lot of logistical things going on, a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. Right. So tell us how did you? Well, let's go back to the beginning. Where'd you grow up? What kind of family dynamic? What was it like? Did you have a silver spoon? Was it? I didn't think so, but I always
Listen.
with that. Go ahead, tell us.
This is the thing. You know why I like to tell everybody, don't judge this book by this particular cover or this chapter of my life. Anybody that knows me, they would be like, look at old Stephanie. Let me tell you, there are teachers that I run into now that's like, look at her. I wasn't the person. I wasn't the one most likely to succeed. Nobody. I was somewhere running my mouth in class because we know that hurt people hurt people. Now, I wasn't out there hurting people, but guess what? This is the deal. This is when I say hurt, I was displacing my anger. Because I don't know about y'all, maybe none of you have experienced it. Maybe none of you have experienced living in a household with a step parent, in a house where the lights were off, there was no food, and you have to pretend, you're in a community, right? And it's the middle of the summer or the winter, and it's nighttime, and kids are vicious. And you got to go in the house, and it's like, look, y'all, maybe y'all ain't have no bugs, no roaches, nothing like that. Maybe y'all didn't have to. Your stepfather didn't go outside and cut down the top of a tree to get you a Christmas tree. You understand?
Oh no.
Yes, sir. See, y'all don't know nothing.
I didn't see
about
that
going to no yard sales. Y'all don't know nothing about when you were 15 and 14. No, 14 actually. As soon as you were old enough, you had 2 jobs, so that you could help buy school clothes for yourself, because there's problems. See, this is the step where I came from. I believe, that's me, that when people experience something and they had to work hard for something else, they really respect and honor it when they get there. See, I ain't arrived, but I'm on my way there. Things are a little different, and my children have experienced a better life, absolutely more better than I experienced. Because see this right here, all this, we were sharing bedrooms, 3, 4.
Okay.
And so, and let me just tell you this, so you get a clear understanding. See, the Stephanie that was in elementary school in the 5th grade, and Miss Hammond said, you're too pretty to have that bad attitude. And I was like, well, that was the first thing, right, for me. Then there was, that moment when you try to share your truth, because people are like, what's going on? Why are you in school acting out? I mean, because see, I couldn't act out at home, because see, that's going to cause some problems. You come to school acting out. Yeah, okay. And I acted out in school about some truths that was going on. And you ever have, I don't know about you all, maybe you haven't experienced this, but when I was growing up, you kept home business home. You didn't take the house up in the school. Well, I messed around and told the truth because they asked the question.
You let something out?
Baby, I told them about the stepfather over there beating on people and stuff, and they called home, and it just caused some more ruckus. See, how many of you know that sometimes when people remarry, the new person doesn't like the children.
Right.
Okay. And whatever they don't like about the other parent, they take out on the child. And my mother, God bless her, she was a wonderful woman. God rest my mom's soul.
Hmm.
But I stand 5'10", she's staying about 5'4", and she had her own self-esteem issues. Because you know how many of you know we all have them, right? We fight them all the time.
Yes.
And because she was dealing with her own self-esteem issues, she thought, and that I gotta do everything I have. I gotta hold on to this man. I need this man.
Right.
You understand? And so therefore, you know, he didn't care. He was doing all kinds of crazy. I mean, I could write a book on just this foolishness. But I'm here to tell you that yes, I was experiencing all those things, and many of you have experienced something similar. But how many of you like me? And I know it's true because I've met these people. I've met people like me that have experienced traumatic childhoods.
Oh yeah, almost all
But
of us.
it did not define. For a minute, it defines us, right? For a minute, it breaks our whole entire world. And I'm going to tell you all right now, if you don't know it, if you've never paid somebody that gets paid to listen to you download all that stuff, please do so. Because that's trauma lives in the body, and it will show up and wreck your entire life if you don't address it.
It'll grow with you.
It will grow with you, and guess
It'll
what?
grow with
Hurt
you.
people
See, look,
hurt people.
girl, I already knew I needed it. I said I was either gonna need to marry a plastic surgeon or a therapist because one day I was probably gonna need both.
Come on now.
And I got that therapist. So, but
all right now.
And you know what though? In our culture, in the African American culture, I don't know if it's still like that today, but when I was coming up to talk about therapy, it was just like they didn't really take us to the dentist. And when I was growing up, you go to the doctor, but ain't nobody got no money for no dentist. And so therapy was like way down the track. And we didn't talk, it lined right up with what you were saying. What's going on in this house? Stay in this house. Don't let me find out you out there running your mouth, or I'm gonna tear that ass up. And
what? You better come on.
I got to throw up.
You was in my house. That sound like my house.
No, that was
the
my
exact
house.
words.
Them extension cord whoopings, right? And the thing about it was, it ingrained in me a sense of silence, secrets. In secrets, nothing grows in the dark but mold, spores, fungus, and bacteria. And if you want to get rid of any of those, you simply expose it to what? The light. That's right, the light. And that is when we share things to get through them so that we can become authorities on them. And now we can show somebody how to get through that same dark place. So in that clip we showed, I love that because I'm all about story. Let's talk about that. About one of the things, let's go to this piece. People that have stories, but they're grown. They got kids, some of them grandkids, but they still can't tell their story because somebody's still alive that was involved, or don't nobody in the family or whatever want you talking about somebody who's moved on, and people hold. So let's talk about that, because here's the deal. People think, mistakenly so, in my opinion, well, I can offer the world a version. I can leave this out. I can maybe fluff this part up, but it's got to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you who? You guessed it. That's right. So let's talk about that. How did you, let's start with you. How did you get to that point where you felt empowered and all those wonderful things that come with knowing and sharing your truth? Wasn't easy, but how'd you do it?
No. So let me tell you, it's a story in that story. True story. I retired after 20 years in law enforcement. I was a commander with the local law enforcement agency. Before I did, I was sitting in what we call in-service. So we had in-service training. And in that training, you know, I'm in the room. It's me and a couple other females that look like me, and the rest a bunch of males, and most of them did not look like me. And we're in this training. We don't. The day
in
is
other words, y'all, they were white.
Come on, man. You better say it. You said it, Lord. So in the room, so I'm in there. You know, it's been a long day. We did defensive tactics. I've been down. I'm shooting. I'm tired. It's the last session of the day. They didn't tell us what it was going to be. I don't recall, but I just know in the front of the room there was one of my dear friends who her name is Benita. She looked like me, and I've known her for 20 years. And there she's standing in the front of the room, and I'm like, what's Benita doing up there? What's she doing up in here? Why is she here? This is not her train. And at some point, they call us to attention. Now, I want you to know, just go with me. I noticed in the back of the room, there's people lined up in the back of the room. And I'm like, why are they here? Because I know they've already trained us. Fast forward, they tell us this is going to be about domestic violence. But then it starts talking. I'm like, why would they be here? She starts telling her story. And then listen, imagine this. I like to be attentive when somebody's talking. So I sit right in the middle, a couple seats back, but kind of up to near the front. So now I'm stuck. I'm right there. I'm not prepared for this talk. See, she starts talking and tears are pouring down my face. I mean, I'm ugly crying. I'm like, oh God. And I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the door. I'm looking at her, the door, back and forth. And I run out of the room and I run to the bathroom. And I'm now holding on to the side of the sink. And I'm saying, do they know that somebody tried to kill me? Oh God, Stephanie, you're going to have to go back in there, because if you don't go back in there, they're going to think your current husband did something to you. You got to go back in there, because they'll come in here and start asking questions that you're not prepared to answer. Ooh. I gathered myself together.
I ready for that.
Paper. I went back in that room. You know how to walk past the security guard that I just ran past. And I went back in that room and I sat down and I'm crying again. I got my issued vehicle, drove home. And on the way home, I'm holding that steering wheel so tight. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to quit this job. Because you see, what they didn't know was 20 years prior to that, someone had tried to take my life. And so how many of you know that trauma unchecked will come back and wreck your life? See, I thought as long as I ain't talk about it, as long as I just kept it back here and like nobody, and then he out and became police, I'm saving lives. But I never thought I thought that thing was resolved. I thought that it was done. It was over, right? I go home, tell my husband about this thing. And they're like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. He just stops me and says, baby, I know the story. I married you. And don't let anybody take your power. And he reminded me of what I had been doing all these years and why I became a police officer in the first place. And how I had saved so many lives, men and women, humans, from this state so they wouldn't experience the things that I experienced. And so now I would fast forward. I asked Benita what made her tell that story. And she told me when she went to therapy, one of the things the therapist said was to release the story. See, I later learned that your story is about you, but it's not for you. So you can save other people's lives, starting with your own, by releasing the story. Because see, the problem was I was so afraid that other people would know that about me, and it would somehow define who I was. And 20 years later, my story was holding me hostage.
Your own story.
I said, okay, so then I went to therapy. Now, mind you, the therapist, like if you go to good therapy, they tell you the journal, right? Tell you the journal. So I journal. And then, as I learned to release it, I said, you know what? I would tell different people a little bit of it. And then one of my dear friends, Gloria Mayfield Banks, her mother, Miss Gloria, her mother, Gloria. Mother Hilliard. Her mother Hilliard was like, I call her, she's my Maya Angelou. She was like, Stephanie, baby. And we had known her for over 20 years. She's like, Stephanie, baby, listen, you got to share that story. Because see, we know you. And then to know that you experienced the things that you've experienced and how you overcame it is life-changing. There are people that are going through it right now who have been through it that will not ever get to that place until somebody tells them that they can. So I said, okay, well, how am I supposed to do that? So, I took that journal, the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and made that journal a book. And that book is, I'm going to, when I first put it out there, scared to death, y'all. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. I put it out there like, it's out there, right? I ain't talking about it. I'm just going to slide it out there. And I even had a sister, sorority sister. I met a book club and she was like, I never told anybody that story. Oh my God, what made you tell that? Shut me down. I was like, maybe I should, so then I didn't talk about it anymore. The book was out there, but I didn't talk about it. If I saw somebody that needed, I'd slide them the book. You see that? So understand that our mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. So once somebody told me they planted a seed and I What you feed Rose, I kept feeding it. Well, she's probably right. Well, maybe I shouldn't have told a story. And to your point, Dr. Lauren, there were and there is at least one. There were at least one or two family members that for a minute they kind of, and I wasn't even talking about them. They just didn't like the fact I told family business.
Right.
Because see, my story, you can't start your story from where you are. You got to start it from the beginning.
In the beginning, once upon a time.
Boom.
Every
So I
story.
had to tell them about little Stephanie. And while she was, her self-esteem was so low that she even had put herself in a predicament to experience any of this. You see, the truth hurts to tell it, and it hurts for people to be kind of spotlighted. That, and I even talked about the fact that many people knew. They just got tired of me going back. So I'm going to tell you that your story absolutely is, and you've heard it said 1,000 different ways, but Dr. Sherwood says your story is about you, but it ain't for you. But she also talks about the fact that your story is somebody's pain medicine. If somebody's sitting beside you, they got a terrible headache or whatever they got, and you got some aspirin, you hand it to them, right?
Right.
So if your story, you know your story can be life-changing for somebody else, why won't you relieve their pain?
Why indeed?
So I choose to share, and I encourage you, if you have whatever your story is, I know you think that everybody got that story, but they don't have your story. And they may have experienced that, but they may think they're the only ones, because I thought for sure that people like me, I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
And there's this thing, this big myth, this big lie that if you're an extrovert, somehow you cannot be abused. The devil was a liar.
Well,
it is there's so much in there, and I'm going to tell you that absolutely. Does it still make me feel uncomfortable? Sure, sometimes. But the more I speak about it, in spite of my fear, right? Push on. Look, do it anyway. The stronger I get.
Right.
And so what? Somebody don't care. So what? Somebody's upset. So what? Somebody said somebody has something to say about it. Guess what I do know? Guess what I know? Whether you give them something to talk about or not, people are going to talk anyway.
Regardless. Oh, and I want to say this before we go to a brief break. Couple things, everybody. I'll tell you this. I remember those moments that you were just speaking of in my own journey. And the first thing, and a lot of people want to be successful and they want to sell books and get on the stage or speak, whatever their dreams are. But you got to tell before you can sell. You got to tell it all. Because you just do. That's the list of the ingredients, if you will, when somebody turns a package over and it tells you got salt. That's the biggest thing in there. Your story has a list of, there's some pain, there's some joy. But you know what? If every tear we ever drop, I look at tears like words. Every tear I've ever dropped wrote a word in my story, wrote a line in my story. That's what it did. And how bad could they have been? All those things that I cried about, all those people that talked about me, all those times I slept in cars and walked the streets and all that stuff. People said, he'll never this, he ain't gonna do that. But guess what? Like we said down there in Atlanta, when Dr. Mohair came in and said, but suddenly, here you are, a doctor. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember the day that God said, when I was just a kid and all that trauma and foster care, he goes, listen, I don't want you to hold on to this. Put it up for later, but don't hide it. You're going to want to know where to find it when I send you back for your blessing, for your birthright, because it wasn't just trauma. Trauma does not travel alone. It's too big of a coward. At that same moment, there is a future blessing born into the process of becoming. You got to wait on it. You got to wait on it. And the last thing is, those of you who are putting pieces out there, or you sneak it, you can't take like this mirror and hold it up around the corner of tomorrow purpose, because you can't, you can peek into purpose, but let me tell you something, you'll never be able to sneak inside of purpose. You got to walk in, eyes open, shoulders back, chin up. It was my story and I'm sticking with it because I ain't got a choice. The truth is the only thing in this universe that will never change and will never change on us. Listen, we come back, Dr. Stephanie, I want to get into how you now as an authority help others get started with their healing. That and more when we come back. Share this broadcast out. Don't you dare go away. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
All right, welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and we have the awesome Dr. Stephanie Wall. Welcome back, Dr. Stephanie. Now,
Hello.
Yeah, before the break, we were talking about all kinds of things, but I wanted to get into, I know you're a speaker, you're an author, you're a coach. Tell us about your coaching. What's the avatar? Who are the people that find their way to you, and when they get there, what happens?
The people that find their way to me, lots of folks find their way, but I'm going to tell you, women, particularly women that are in positions, whether you're a manager or a supervisor, or you're a mother, you're a teacher, you are somewhere, you are responsible for other people. Because I'm finding, and particularly now, I don't know what it is, but it seems like even more so now after or during this pandemic period,
Thank you.
more and more of women are being elevated. And they are feeling, even though they're highly qualified, their story, that story that they have, or the story that they're telling themselves, is keeping them from working and showing up well in those positions. It's making it hard for them to really grow where they are. They may have a big dream, or a small dream, but they're not going for them. And so this is the deal. I want women to transform their lives so they can transform the lives of their families. I want the Stephanies of the world to have everything they want.
Amen.
So I help them get out of their own way.
And right there. And I just want to say this. When Dr. Stephanie talks about women who have a story, now a lot of people think the only people that go to coaches is because they're trying to become a speaker or they want to write a book, but no. You might just need to understand how to connect all the dots just so that because the thing is, Stephanie, I know I just turned 60 a week ago today on the 4th of July. And I'm going to tell you something, right? And I'm going to tell you something. No matter how much of it I think I have a grasp of, especially on those milestones every 10 years, you cannot. And now at 60, I start feeling more and more that universal urgency to get my soul's mission completed. I think when people fear death, it's because they can hear and they know they haven't done anything. They're not doing what they should be doing. So let's talk about that. Why is it that so many of us discount our own journeys, our own. Is it because we're so close to the epicenter? What is it? And how do you help them get through that or past that?
So let me tell you this. First of all, the first thing I say to them, which sometimes we just need somebody to say this to us. Listen, stop wasting the best years of your life. Stop hiding behind the old you and walk boldly in your purpose or your passion.
Boldly.
Oh. Good morning. So let me tell you that this is the
What's
first
that
thing.
look like?
Look, here's the deal. The first thing is we have to deal with mindset. We can't talk about nothing else until we do with mindset. So the first thing I help you get clear. What is it that you want? Because you don't even look. I know you guys have heard this before about a boat without a rudder. You need a little part on the back of the boat that helps you to guide you. If you don't know where you're going, if there's no rudder. If you know where you're going around in circles. You know how you be in a boat and everybody, instead of y'all rowing in the same direction, you all over here. I'm rowing backwards. You rowing for weeks, going around in circles and circles.
And I'm gonna get sick.
I need you to know where you're going. So I have to get people. I get them right. What do you want? And when I say, what do you want? No. What do you want? I mean, in here. And why do you want it? And when you listen, because look, and I gotta get up in this thing close. Until I knew exactly what I wanted and why I wanted and how it would make me feel when I got it, it didn't matter.
Well, and I got a piece to throw in because I do a little coaching too. But I'm gonna tell you something I know about. I'm gonna tell you something I know about it. It's in that P3. That's part of my master class too. I did a whole module on this one. Let me tell y'all something about want and need. There's a difference. Just like choice and decision, there's a difference. Okay, want is similar to a wish list. Well, I want to lose 10 pounds, but then if we leave it right there, 2 months down the road, we gain 10. Why? Look at New Year's resolutions. Because you got to look at what you need first.
Come on, and you got to see it.
Need comes with a plan. Because if I want to lose 20 pounds, that means I need to shop better because I need to eat better, which means I got to cook food better meals in order to lose that weight that I want. So find out what you want and then circle back around and say, now, what do I need to do to get that?
To get there. And wait a minute. Look, I know y'all have heard this. Let me go ahead and get your pen out. If you ain't got your pen and paper out right now, listen, you knew better than coming on this show in the first place without your pen and paper out. But let me just tell you this. Everybody, you've heard it before. I'm only going to tell you something you've heard from my perspective. See what worked for me. You've heard these things before. You've heard everything before, but you're going to hear this from me.
Okay.
If you don't know, if your goal every day is not to complete 10 things by 10 a.m. Look, hear me when I tell you.
Look, I'm counting already.
10 things. And when I say the 10 things, some of y'all, and when I say some of us, that includes making the goddamn bed up. I know y'all read that book. It talks about making your bed up in the morning. When you make your bed up in the morning, that means you've accomplished something. You feel like, okay, I've gotten one thing done.
Look,
right? Some of y'all might be getting up, getting dressed for the day. Number 2.
Right. Because you remember
drinking that glass of water. Number 3. Okay, now that phone call. Look, y'all know we need that water. Come on now, it's about water.
I'm getting ready to start running.
So, and then let me tell you this one. Now look. We all have things that we dread, little tasks that we dread to do. Put that joke up at the top of the list, because when you get that out the way, man, it's a praise party. It's a praise party.
Yes, I told you.
So if there's a client you need to call, if there's a brief that you need to complete, if there's an email you need to send, if there's a phone call, whatever do that thing, put that on high on the list, but let's make it your goal to get it done before 10. I double dare any of you. Here's the call to action. It's coming to you right now.
Here it comes.
If I dare you to do these 3 things. 3 things you got to do. Les Brown said, don't ever be talking unless you have a point, and make a point when you're talking. But let me tell you this. If you get up and every day, not 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 7 days a week, before you go to bed, y'all, put a little book by your bed so you can get some sleep. Because, we be sleeping, we got an idea, and now we up. Because we be thinking our mind's racing. But if we put a book beside your bed, you can write, pop up, and you can write it down and go on back to get your rest. Mm-hmm. But you should be writing down. I got a little pencil here and everything. Write down your 10 things before you go to bed. Boom. So when you get up in the morning, put it right wherever you are. Start there. Listen, when you make that bed up, I'm telling you, there was a colonel or an admiral who wrote a book about making your bed. It's called Make Your Bed Up. And he literally talks about if you start your day.
I read that.
That thing is about this. It's around his song. I'm gonna give y'all in a minute.
Yes.
But this is the deal. Make the bed up. I want you to please add it to your list, everybody, because it's something about a doggone bed not being made up. Just means that you are not organized. So make your bed up. Drink that water because we need water to live. Let's go ahead and put that on the list. And then, come on, somebody. That's what I'm saying. And then I want you to have on that third one, if not the first and the second, the third one need to be that thing that you don't want to do. Just get it out the way. Boom. Scratch. It's something. Look, I am about the transformation. I study transformation. I study psychology. Scratch that down the list. Scratch it off. Done. Check. Whatever you want to do. Now, you got up in the morning. You wrote it down the night before. So that's your first thing. You got up in the morning and you started implementation because right? Faith without works is what? Dead. And then, all right, now here we go. Once you did those 10 things, we all have something that's driving us crazy. Because, Trevor Ott says that most entrepreneurs, most people are most frustrated because they don't have the proper tool. And if they don't have the right tool, if they have the right tool and they're still frustrated, they have the wrong strategy. Okay, so get the right tool and the right strategy. And if you're saying, I got all of these, it might be the technology that you have. You might have StreamYard and you want to do something fabulous with it, but you don't know how to really use it. Well, guess what? StreamYard has a little, or YouTube University. Go there and watch the little videos. The how to. You should be spending at least, according to Trevor, who's one of my mentors, at least 15 to 45 minutes every day learning something new. And do not switch to the next thing until you have mastered that thing. Gloria Mayfield-Banks says, master the new. You can't grow till you master something.
Because ain't it 10,000 hours of practicing something before you've mastered it? I think that's it. Sherry McQueen, I know you know. Check that out for us. Google it for us, Sherry, would you?
Come on, somebody look it up.
Yeah, I want to say this. For that person out there that's thinking, well, I'm a cuss. Just giving y'all
go ahead.
For that person that says, well, you know what, that's good for y'all, I guess, but my world is so darn got shit to do. I can't even get out of bed. I remember those days. I couldn't even get out of the bed. I now would, from what you just suggested, I put get your ass out the bed on the list first.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta tell you this.
I was in bed 2 feet from the window. I could see sunshine peeking through the blinds. All I had to do was outstretch my arm and pull the cord, and the sun would have come in and changed the air in the tank. But I couldn't find it within me to even do that. So for you out there, that person that feels like I don't even have that, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Find it. Now, Dr. Stephanie.
I got an issue. I got to tell you this.
Throw it in.
Let me tell you that. So I can't think of her name, but there's a coach, and she talked about the fact that her clients have been doing this, and I started doing it because that very thing you said about getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Because it's all psychology, y'all. It's all psychology. If you lay in the bed, you can't get up every morning. I dare y'all to try this. Look, when you land there and you don't want to get up, I don't want to get up. I want you to say out loud, 1, 2, 3, get up. You gotta say 1, 2, 3, get up, or think it 1, 2, 3, get up. And when in your mind, when you hear the get up, you have to do it. The first time you have to do it on purpose. But after a while, as soon as you hear yourself thinking 1, 2, 3, get up, your leg will swing out of the bed whether you like it or not. Look, I'm telling you, it's mind over matter. Listen, our actions follow our thoughts, not the other way around.
Say it again.
Our actions follow our thoughts, not the other way around. So whatever you think you want to do, if you think, well, I'm just going to lay in the bed, then your actions will think that. But if you say 1, 2, 3, get up, your actions will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry, I digress.
No. I got a good one too. My friend Joy Willette Cooper, she's my mentor and guru for all things NLP, right? And she gave me one that I give to all the kids. I give to everybody I love. Look at this. And you got to do it just like this. You write it in block letters, healthy/unhealthy. And when you're deciding or contemplating, hold this up and think what you were just thinking. If what you're thinking is unhealthy, you're going to go right to the word unhealthy. You won't even see healthy. If it's healthy, you will look directly at healthy. I'm telling you, it works. And
I like that. I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down.
Write it down, because I'm going to tell you why this is so important, you guys. It took me decades to get this down, and it changed everything. I had to be so honest with myself that I had to know my own weaknesses. And when I'm celebrating anything that feels great in my world, I take them. I go, wait a minute, before all the balloons deflate, before all the bubbles in the champagne are flat, I need to go somewhere that I've created as a sacred space, like that journal or a post-it note or just on my knees. And I need to put something from this moment there so that one day when I wake up and I'm not this person, it'll be there waiting for me to walk into, to stumble over, to remind me, don't forget, this too shall pass. So, I told y'all we were getting ready to tear this up today. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna pop something up on the screen, and we're gonna play a little game. How much time we got? We got about 8 minutes. Let's go through some of these hurdles. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. Just like you guys, a lot of it is how we configure our own narrative. For instance, when people say, like, when I was with the line coach Saturday, she goes, "Are you opposed to, how do you deal with constructive criticism?" I say, "Oh, I don't give that out, and I really don't accept it." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I would prefer it be constructive insight. Criticism is too negative. It's too negative. Give me some constructive insight." So, removing toxic influences. I believe words that deceive are some, I'm too old, all those words that we use against ourselves, because one of the promises says, "No weapon formed against you," but it doesn't say anything about weapons you create and use on yourself.
Come on. Well, let me say this. Okay, so I love this because I heard many people talk about, but the last person I heard talking about doing this along with the NLP was Lisa Nichols, right? Which was this.
Oh, that's friend of mine.
I love is this thing here. When she said, "Look, go ahead and write down the top 10 lies that you tell yourself. The top 10 lies you tell yourself." She said, write them down in pencil, right? The top 10 lies you tell yourself about why you can't succeed, why you can't have what you want, why you can't, all the why you can't. So write them down, right? She'll give you time. Then she wants you to go back and write down in pen the truth. Or if you don't know what the truth is, what you want the truth to be. And I like to say, I tell you, write an affirmation that combats that lie. Okay. Now, for 30 days, you read those two things. And after the 30 days, erase the lie. Because here's the deal, you all. The mind, although the mind can focus on, it can be on a lot of things. The mind can be, you can be thinking about a lot of things, right? In your mind and your thoughts, but the track, it will decide whether it's going to be on this track, as you said, the healthy or the unhealthy. The mind will decide what track you want to be on. So if you say, let's say your story, like for me, let's say money, I'm terrible with money. And you say, well, you replace it with money comes to me easily. And look, quick comes to me and through me easily, right? All right. So I replaced with, I'm bad with money comes to me and through me easily.
I got one easier than that. But I want to tell you, when you was talking about that, I got goosebumps. I mean, the Holy Spirit, tell y'all, I got goosebumps. I was like, ooh, big chill bumps. Listen, I'm just saying for me, how I got over that, because you guys know this story. In the last year, the money thing. I said, God told me, Lauren, you naturally lazy. That's why it works so well. This is why it works so well. I'm trying to get there because I didn't feel like I even started investing in living until I turned 50. The first autumn decades, I was investing in killing myself and everything that was there to help me. That's what I was doing. But he said, stop. Don't manifest money. Why don't you just manifest abundance? Because when you manifest abundance, I'm going to give you more of everything, including more sleepless nights, because you're going to have great ideas to ponder. More headaches, because you're going to have more irons in the fire. But more joy, more capacity to be of service to others, and more legacy to leave for the future. See, when I started manifesting abundance, Dr. Stephanie, I stopped manifesting things for next week or next month, and what am I going to do in the third quarter? And I started manifesting for thousands of years from now. I want to leave something that the world will be able to find, should they seek, like the promise says, 5,000 years from now. And so it is all about our narrative. So what about this one? Let's talk about this one, because I am fiercely protective of all that I know to be true, that I have fought all these years to get to that place where I know within my spirit, this is the truth. Let's talk about defending our territory.
Look,
how do you do that without pissing people off?
Protect your peace. I'm going to tell you right now, look, your circle, look, everybody is not your friend. You're not for everybody. And look, stop people pleasing. Stop people pleasing. And I'm going to look, let me go ahead and just so y'all don't think I'm just talking about y'all. My name is Stephanie, and I used to be a people pleaser. So you got to understand where that comes from. See, and it's all up in here. Look, why people? We are people pleasers. You know, the Maslow's greatest need is to belong, to fit in. But you ain't got to fit in with everybody, and everything ain't for you. And let me just say this, because I know my spirit tells me I need to say this here.
Say it.
We're trying to fit in places that we think everybody doing is glowing up and growing up and showing up. Look, you already super bad already by yourself. You think that you need to be over in those spaces because they're doing so much better than you. But let me tell you right now, social media is a lie. Let me tell you that everybody is showing up all this fabulous is not fabulous. And sometimes they're calling you into their spaces because you are actually doing a lot more shine than you know. So I'm telling you, listen, here's the deal. Defend your territory, because everything for you, I want you to pray about some stuff. Stop just walking in to everything and stop accepting everything. My name is Stephanie, and I used to do that. And I did it so much, and it affected every bit of who I was. We keep showing up in places and expecting ourselves and other people. It ain't happening, people. How about this, y'all? The Bible tells us that, first of all, don't be doing things just with expectation you'll get things back. Do it because this is what you do. But protect your peace. And when I say protect your peace, right now, decide today, write it down. You should have been talking with your coach. You should know what is important to you. Because what's important to you is, number one, how you're going to show up in the world. And number two, it is how your why. It's all tied up into your why.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
And if it's important to you, then it's tied to your passion and your purpose. And when it's tied to your passion and your purpose, that is how you serve the world.
That's right.
Woo! Come on, y'all. That's my thing.
And you got to be willing to let go of anything that does not serve you. Why? Because the longer you leave things inside your sacred space that do not serve you, trust me, it's just a matter of time before you'll be serving it. So I want to leave y'all with this. We got 1 minute left. My therapist gave me this last week because I struggle with not being able to say no to people. And here it is, because I write it down, I don't play with it. And he said, all you have to do, this is how you get out of that. You ask that person, well, how do you best feel you need to deal with this? Whenever you feel like somebody's trying to get you to do something, say something, go somewhere, be anything that doesn't sit right with your spirit, turn it back around and say, well, how do you best feel you need to deal with this? Try it.
Well, you
start somewhere.
You better say it.
We're not playing. Listen, on the bottom of your screen is Dr. Stephanie's link tree, where you can find all of her connectors. Also, here she is. If Instagram is your jam, there it is on the screen. I'm going to take the liberty of dropping both of these inside of the comments at the conclusion of this broadcast. I suggest that you reach out, get to know this wonderful person. We have just cracked the shell. Dr. Stephanie, I wish we had more time, but you have the turnstile invitation, which means you can come on through. You got a pocket full of tokens. Come in.
Thank you.
What a wonderful, wonderful thing. Here's your Jerry Springer moment. Let's just say, if you could just drop one marble into the pot for people to take with them today, and they could leave everything else we've talked about behind, what would you want that one thing to be that everybody took with them today?
I want you to unmute yourself and know that powerful people ask powerful questions, because powerful questions steer our focus, and our focus is how we serve the world, how we show up in the world, and how we get things done. That's what was told to me, and that's what I'm telling you. God bless you.
Yes, thank you. Listen, you guys, what a wonderful day. I got to get you back here soon.
Thank you.
I'm serious. Let me see who's coming up tomorrow. Oh, my good Air Force buddy, Sean Douglas. He worked with me on the very first Powerfully Symposium back in 18. He was one of the floor MCs. He has a radio show on the Air Force radio network. He's retired now and doing big, big things. I wanted to bring him back so we could catch up with him. Sean Douglas tomorrow here on Bathrobe Moments. But listen, in the meantime, you guys, listen, seriously, get out there today. Get out there. Be the best version of yourself you can possibly imagine and give something to someone else. Do me a favor. Let's try this. Who is it that you haven't called in a long time? Don't text. Call them. Leave a voicemail. Say you were on my mind. I was thinking about you and I love you. Let's talk soon. Do that for me, won't you? Dr. Stephanie, love you so much. Have the best day ever. And thank you for pouring into us. It was absolutely phenomenal. You guys.
Thank you.
Yes. I'll see all of you, God willing, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central, right out front on that front porch as we come together to fulfill that promise yet again, where two or more come together. Get out and be the blessing you want to see in this world. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about that. Bye-bye. Bye, Stephanie.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time.